Hey, this is Racquetball Tim here for another gameplay analysis video. I'll be analyzing a player named Tim. He's got a great name, just like mine. He's in the back there. Tim is roughly a B-level player. He flew into Vegas a few weeks ago for some lessons and some video analysis. So let's see if we can help him out here. He'll be playing against Maria, who's been in my other videos. She's wearing the hat serving right now. Maria is known for her good drive serve. So the key with her is to get that serve back, get her deep in the court. Starts off with not her best drive serve there to Tim's forehand, but we'll watch for that drive serve to improve. Tim, you love that backhand lob serve. If it's accurate, I say go ahead and hit it, but I do recommend learning the forehand serves as we went over in the lesson. It's a good shot right there, very smart shot. In the lesson, we went over some forehand lob serves and trying to improve your drive serve as well. On this particular shot, you took the right shot, Tim, and as you've heard me say many times during our lesson, rack it up. So as soon as you're backing up here, first of all, you should already be square to the sidewall, and your racket should be up. You can see how down it is right there. Down, down, down. You're not squared up yet. You're actually kind of open. Look at your left shoulder. It's kind of open. Your left shoulder should be right into that right wall. So you're turning facing that sidewall with your racket up. The last second you bring it up, but you've already lost way too much time. You should be halfway into your swing right now, and you're only getting minimal power here. Having said that, this is really good here. Full extension, if you look at the arm angle, really straight. I love it. At full extension, you're going to get maximum power, as everyone who's seen my videos knows. That's where you get power from. The thing I don't like about this shot, and something we'll look for, is your left foot and your right foot are pointing toward that corner over there on the right. So what that does is it blocks off your hips. You can't fully rotate your hips. I recommend keeping the left foot directly in front of your right foot, step directly toward the front wall on all your shots. Maximizes your power because you get full hip rotation. Also adds deception to your shot too. By stepping to the right corner, it looks like you're hitting the ball to the right. Let's roll it forward here. The shot was the right shot. Why go for a kill when she's in front of you? See where she's standing? On the left side, almost on the dotted line. No point trying to kill that ball. Mistake people make in this spot here is they go for a pinch, which would be the wrong shot. If you look where a pinch goes, right back to her. So you don't want to hit a pinch when your opponent's on the left side. Excellent work there on the shot selection, Tim. It's going to feel weird calling you Tim the whole video. I feel like I'm talking to myself, which wouldn't be the first time. So we're lining up for that lob serve on the right. And as Maria's making contact, there you are in position. Something to look for here. I'm kind of being nitpicky, but this does truly help your game. Again, your feet are angled not properly. You want to be parallel, feet parallel to the front wall, down and ready. So it should be parallel to this, see that red line right there? 1 to 2 feet behind the dotted line, knees flexed, down and ready, so that you're ready to pounce either way. The shot could go left, the shot could go right, it could be a pinch, we have no idea. We have to respect the shot. The way you're standing right now, it looks like you're leaning toward the left, like you're kind of guessing on which shot she's going to hit. So you're going to be susceptible to cross-court passes, which is exactly what happened right here. Now you're out of position, you're kind of backing up, hitting a shot, whereas if you were in position, you would be in a much more offensive position. And then Maria puts your shot away. That's a little bit nitpicky, but I'm a big believer in court position and being down and ready. Okay, look right there. See your feet? That's where you should have been. That's exactly how you should look behind the dotted line when Maria was hitting her shot. Feet are parallel, your knees are flexed, you're ready to pounce. The only difference would be that your head would be turned slightly facing her to see what shot she's going to hit. All right, there's another drive serve. It's kind of a high one. It's not her normal serve. So something to look for. She did have some shoulder pain, so we'll see if her serve gets better. This one comes off the back, and as everyone knows, I'm going to say let the ball drop. Your racket should be up there, Tim, too. Ball's heading toward the back. Your racket should be right around your left shoulder right now. You choke yourself with your right shoulder. You put it into your chin, as I showed you during the lesson. Get that racket way up. Then you're just going to shuffle out with this ball because it's an easy setup. You got jammed a little bit there, too. Not too bad on the height. I would let it drop even more. Shot selection down the line is fine as long as you hit it properly. She tends to guess on down the lines. With Maria, I like to go cross court a lot and pinch. But you hit a decent shot. She just was on it and she hit a good kill cross court. Get that racket up. Perfect position, Tim. Down and ready. You're ready to pounce. That's a better drive serve from Maria. Good choice on the down the line. Another issue of racket not being up. And here's why this one comes into play. I know I keep harping on the racket up, but this is a really good example of why your racket should be up. It should be up right now. And if you look, this is actually a time to shoot the ball. I would shoot that ball right down the line. I would pound that down the line. My racket would have been up, and I would have hit, boom, right there. I also have the cross court. Either one's fine. But because your racket's down, now you're kind of in a defensive spot. You're like, oh, I might as well go ceiling. So if you want to go up a level, get your racket up. Because and open level players, they shoot this ball. They at least hit an overhead or a sidearm pass. Whereas because your racket's down, we're hitting a defensive shot. So we're giving up an opportunity, which at the higher levels is just gonna crush you, because open players are not gonna miss those ceiling balls off the back wall. I like to move the camera around so I can get different angles and see mechanics and stuff like that. Pretty good serve. It was probably gonna come off the back. I like the shot selection there. Okay, let's see why you missed the shot. This is a good lesson for everybody right here. As she's making contact with the ball, look at your feet. Not down and ready. We're actually moving to the left. So all of our momentum is going that way. But the shot, if you notice, is going over to the right side. My fancy schmancy arrows. So momentum's going to the left. She hits to the right, and it's too late. Look at all your weight's going to the left. So had you been down and ready, even if you stopped right there, like out of position a little bit, as long as you're stopped, knees flexed, down and ready to pounce, you can at least have the ability to move quicker. Your first step will be quicker toward her shot. Moving to the left like this and trying to go back to the right is just impossible. Even if you get to it, it's hard to hit a good shot. I love your serve return position, Tim. Really good. Maria hits her a long serve there. She's a little inconsistent right now with the drive serve. I think it does improve in game 2 if I remember correctly. She loves that second serve Z. I think that one might have been a 3-wall serve. Don't remember. Oh well, we gave it to her. Rack it up, rack it up. Oh, she was right in your way. So at the higher levels, or if you play by the rules, this is actually an avoidable hinder. She's directly in your path. So, sorry, it's actually called a penalty hinder now. They changed the name of it. It's not an avoidable hinder. It's called a penalty hinder. You would actually get the point here. You would just hold up and not swing because you don't want to injure her, and you would get the point. She's taking away, a number of shots, but you don't have a cross court. Oops. You don't have a cross court shot here, and you don't have really a straight in shot. She's kind of in the way of that too. You did take the shot, so you got to play on, and you end up hitting a pretty good pass here. But again, the higher levels, you don't want to just give up an opportunity, so you got to hold up in that spot and take your free point. Penalty hinder. Racquetball without penalty hinders, in my opinion, is really ugly. I feel like you got to play by the rules. It's a good get there, Tim. Good position. Rack it up, get behind the ball. Okay, we worked on this a little bit in our practice. Actually, we worked on this a lot in our practice. So it's something that you're going to want to work on by yourself too. This ball's coming off the back. I love how you turn. Racket should already be up. You should be behind the ball rather than waiting for the ball. Look how far the ball's behind you right now. This ball is coming off the back pretty far, but you still should be backed up more. I would say probably to about here. You shuffle back to that position, and then you shuffle forward with the ball. The way you're positioned right now, you're kind of at the mercy of the ball. Wherever the ball's going is where you're going to end up hitting it, and that's not a good contact point. We want to contact the ball much lower. So if we get behind the ball, it should be about that high in your contact point. If we get behind the ball, I'm going to show, let's go with a red arrow. This will represent you going back with the ball. Then as the ball's coming off the back wall, we're going to move forward with the ball. So you shuffle back, and then you shuffle forward with the ball like we did in our practice, and let the ball drop. That way you're manipulating where the ball is going to be within your contact zone, within your contact points. As it stands right now, the ball's kind of saying, okay, I'm coming to here, and you have to swing wherever the ball's going to be. And it's just too far back in your contact, in your hitting zone, and it's too high as well. So you hit a pretty weak pass there, and Maria hits a good cross court, and then you're kind of out of position. So that's something you can practice on your own. We went over that, and I'm pretty sure you're working on it right now because you're pretty, pretty good practicer, and you like to drill, and you love the game. So I know you're working on this stuff. Good save in the back there. Get down and ready. Very good. You might be able to save this one. Good save. If you weren't down and ready, you wouldn't have had that. So Maria's got you on defense here. She does that sometimes. Not much you could have done there. Maybe a good ceiling ball or two would have got her out of center court. You were just kind of trying to stay alive there. Screen serve. Anyone watching this doesn't know what a screen is. It's when the ball comes back so close to the server. You can kind of see how close it is to Maria right there. That the returner wouldn't have a good view of it as it passes them. It's kind of a gray area with the rule. It used to be like, oh, it has to be 18 inches away from the server. It's really, you just have to have a reasonable chance to see the ball. And the way I play it, if you look at this line right here on the court, that seam in the glass, if the serve is to the left of that, then I never call screens. To the right of that, I'll call screens. That's pretty much how I do it. And of course, it depends on a few factors, but that's pretty much how I do it. If it's to the left of that seam, I can see the ball fine, and usually it's a setup if it comes off the back, so I'll shoot that ball anyway. But good call on the screen. And after a screen, it's first serve. I'm sorry, it's second serve. A screen's like a fault serve. It's like you missed your serve. Good pass there. Very smart shot. Maria's to the right. You knew exactly where she was. You're a smart player. She's over to the left. To the right, and you hit to the left. I do like your shot selection most of the time. We talked about that during the lessons as well. You're a thinker on the court, which I like, and that's going to help you improve your levels. If you're not a thinker, then it's hard to get better. That's a very smart shot. Well done. She hit a weak cross court, you crossed over, and you hit a nice down the line. Sticking with that backhand lob serve. Maria doesn't like to cut those off usually, so it's not a bad serve against her. It's a good lesson for people watching too. If something's working, keep doing it until they can figure it out. That was just a mechanical issue there, Tim. It was the right shot. You were deep in the court. I might have took an overhead down the line pass here. The ball's kind of high. Probably would have went ceiling. You just got to follow through, and you're kind of jumping as you're hitting too. There's no need to jump on a ceiling ball, but I think it's because your racket was down. If your racket's up right here, you're already in position to swing. All you got to do is swing. Now you feel like, because your racket was down, you feel like you have to put a little extra power in it, so you jump. Whee! Flying through the air. And whenever you jump in racquetball or any sport, other than basketball, I guess, or volleyball, you're actually giving up some of your mechanics. It's hard to control your body when you're in the air. So if you have a racket in your hand and you're jumping, probably not doing it right. It's a great return. Maria had a pretty good drive serve there. I liked your return. Let's see what happened here. Okay, so she hit a good drive serve, and one of my favorite phrases is respect the serve. If it's a good serve, you got to respect it. You got to go ceiling. Okay, as you're crossing over, Tim, let's look at the footwork here. As you're crossing over, the left foot is attached to the right arm. Left foot moves, right arm should be up. Racket should be up. Up, up, up. See how down it is? There's not much you can do here other than flick it to the ceiling, which I probably would have done anyway because it was a really good serve, like I said. But you'll hit more consistent ceiling balls if you get that racket up. So you're hitting a jab step. That was a great serve, an excellent return, Tim. Oh, you missed your ceiling ball. It came off the back. That's what happened. And she just missed her shot. When you cross over on the drive serve return to the right, your left leg moves, your racket moves. Those two are attached. Left leg crosses over, racket comes up. So now you mixed in a backhand lob nick, which is really interesting. Okay, you did a little better here, coming off the back. Look at this. This is much better. I'm encouraged. Ball's coming off the back. You're squared up. Your racket's up. Look at that, Tim. See, you got it. Racket's up. Try to get behind the ball, and you're moving forward with the ball. Really good. Much better. Still got an issue with that left leg pointing toward the right corner. It is going to block off your hips. Ball's about waist height. And you follow through. You're taking the right shot too. Maria is on the right side, so why not go to the left with a down the line pass? Just missed it a little bit. And there's another avoidable hinder. She was in your way again. That's why you got to call it, because now she has an opportunity and you're on defense. Another smart shot there. This is a good rally. Down the I probably would have went ceiling there. You're out of position. Okay, let's see what happened here on the backhand side. That was a good rally. I think you got to call that avoidable hinder, or at least hold up. If you guys don't like, penalty hinders. If you don't like playing penalty hinders, then just hold up and call a replay, because you missed a huge opportunity. Okay, your racket should be up here again. Backhand side, rack it up, rack it up. This is a pretty good setup off the back, actually. It came off a few feet. I would have shot that right down the line. If you see how far out of position she is, you have a nice down the line pass here. But the racket wasn't up and just couldn't get to the ball. Good rally, though. It was fun watching you two battle. It was pretty evenly matched. We're going to see another video after this one, too, and I think it was also a pretty close match. Good serve by Maria. Got to shoot that to the ceiling, Tim, if it's good. If it comes off the back, you got to shoot it down the line. Let's see why you didn't shoot that one, because that was a good serve in terms of the angle, but it came way off the back. So here's her serve. You're down and ready. When on the left side, on the backhand side, when you're crossing over, the racket is attached to your right foot. That's the kind of terminology I like to use to teach people. As soon as your right foot moves, racket comes up. So your racket is kind of coming up. It should be a lot higher. Should be pointing up, right up here. Behind your left ear, if you will. And because of that, now you're bringing it up. That's where it should have been in the first place. See where it is right there? That's where it should have been as soon as you crossed over. This ball comes off the back. That's a setup for sure. You're in a pretty good spot to hit the ball. Your right foot shouldn't be so far to the left. You're actually pointing directly. You're facing the sidewall like that. Ideally on the backhand, you want your right foot to face that way, 45 degrees, or toward the left corner, the left front corner, whatever works best for you. When you face the left wall and you step toward the left wall, you're crossing up your hips, and it's hard to get full hip rotation. You also swung down on this a little bit, pendulum, and you shot it up. There's the pendulum swing. Your swing's usually a little flatter. You can see the high follow through there. But you did a good job letting the ball drop. You got to shoot that ball right down the line, lower. And she has a setup, and that's a hinder right there. So she hit the ball back to herself. You were ready to hit it, and you couldn't because she was in the way. That one's just a regular hinder. It's a replay hinder. She's starting to get her serve dialed in a little bit. Rack it up, Tim. Rack it up. Rack it up. Again, pretty good shot selection on each of those, but you got to get that racket up. ERP, early racket prep. So you mixed in a backhand drive serve there. Again, that's interesting. Those serves, we talked about them extensively. I don't want to get too much into them. I think they're just hard to control. I'd rather have a regular drive serve, especially if you want to get to A level. A regular drive serve, and a drive Z and a down the line drive. That's just a much better combo than the backhand lob serve and the backhand drive serve. Plus, it's very easy for your opponent to see the serve when you're serving with your backhand. I'm not saying never serve with the backhand. It's another opportunity to get behind the ball here. Kind of waiting for the ball. See how you're waiting, not shuffling forward. Now you're at the mercy of the ball. That's just too high. Okay? Here's a really good lesson if you want to get better at racquetball. Number one, this ball is just too high. It should be contacted down here. Let the ball drop and just rip it right down the line, and you got the perfect opportunity. I think what happened here is you wanted to go down the line, but the ball jumped off, and you were waiting for it, and you weren't getting behind the ball, so you ended up being at the mercy of the ball, and you ended up hitting a cross court right into Maria, when down the line was definitely the right shot. She's tough. She's like, whatever. Didn't even feel it. She's a tournament player. She's been hit by a lot harder shots. She's one tough cookie. Good serve. You got the ceiling ball. Smart idea going back to the ceiling. Got a little ceiling ball exchange. Let it drop. Let it drop. You got kind of unlucky there. Ball was too close to the sidewall. Not much you can do there. Yeah, she's starting to get her serve dialed in. That's another setup. You got to either shoot that or take it to the ceiling, Tim. Good shot by Maria. So she's hitting a pretty good serve, but it's not a serve that you can't shoot with a good pass or flick to the ceiling. That's ceiling. Yeah, you can't shoot that ball. So again, respect the serve. This is a good serve, nice and low. You're kind of in position to hit. I think at the higher levels you can shoot that some of the time. I probably still would go ceiling because it was a nice hard serve. It's hard to get your timing right unless you got a good beat on it. If you are going to shoot it, I like down the line pass, which you tried to do, but you just took an abbreviated swing. It's one of the reasons why you shouldn't shoot it because your racket wasn't up and it's hard to take a full swing. Watch where you finish your swing here. You didn't really take a full swing. It's kind of an abbreviated swing. If you're going to take an abbreviated swing, then ceiling ball is definitely the right shot. It's just hard to hit a good hard pass with a half swing. Rack it up, rack it up. Oh boy. People always laugh when I say rack it up. It's something I'm a big believer in, and it's an immediate way to fix your game. It's just like the number one way to fix your game instantly. So I'm sorry if I keep harping on it. Good save, good save. Get back. Wow, smart shot. If you're in trouble, go ceiling. Very good. You're just kind of biding your time here, waiting for your opportunity. You got it, and she defended. That's not an opportunity. You should have went ceiling on that one. Good shot, though. It did end up good for you. I like the strategy there in that rally. She kept hitting some good shots, so why not go back to the ceiling? Extend the rally. Make her work. Wait for your opportunities. That's a good little junk lob serve to the backhand. Great shot. Very smart. You saw her coming around to the right, so why not shoot it to the left? Contact point is too high. Let it drop. There's no reason that you can't back up on this one. Back up to about here. Maybe a little farther back even. Get behind the ball and then move into it. So the shot choice was excellent. Some players, though, are going to get to that ball. Some players are pretty quick and they can get to it. If you let it drop, then you can hit it flatter, and it's going to give them less time to get to the ball. By hitting the ball high like that, it does tend to bounce up, and quicker players can get to it. Good lob, Nick. Well, that comes off the back a little bit. Right shot. A little high. Serving from the far right. Looks like the lob Nick again. It's giving her fits back there. She's not doing much with it. And you read that shot perfectly, Tim. But if your opponent is shooting from the far left corner, the deep left corner, I should say, you should, okay, first of all, you're moving as she's hitting. So you'll see how you're not in position, you're kind of moving. You're going to be susceptible to cross courts. But so she shot the ball from the deep left corner, which means she's in the deep left corner. You should be hitting a cross court or a pinch here. Hitting it right back down the line is not the right shot because that's where she came from. So she's probably there. Hit it away from your opponent. I guess that's the basic idea I'm trying to convey here. Got a little too far forward there. 1 to 2 feet behind the dotted line, especially against Maria. She doesn't hit a lot of pinches, so I like to play her deep in the court, cover all the passes. They're just far more frequent than her pinches. Good ceiling. Shoot that ball. Oh, it was a good idea to shoot it. Again, you got a little bit unlucky with the sidewall there. Ball kind of stuck to the sidewall. I love the idea to shoot that ball, though. That was definitely an opportunity to shoot. That's another serve you got to respect. Just a really good serve. Barely over the line. Actually, it might have come off the back now that I see it again. This probably would have come off the back. Yeah, for a setup. If you're going to shoot this, you got to go ceiling. It's kind of a screen. You see where it's going to hit. But it was definitely coming off the back. I would have waited for that and took it right down the line. We did work pretty hard on drive serve return during the lessons as well, so I'm assuming this is all improved, as has a lot of your game since the lesson. Looking forward to our next video analysis to see how we improve. Good get. Okay, the get was good. She hit a really good shot and you covered it, but if you watch the best players, they can flick this to the ceiling, okay? Flick up to the ceiling. Let me tell you why. Number one, what do you think it is? Look at your racket. It's pointing down. There's just no way you can take that ball to the ceiling because your racket's down and you got to get it up. So your up is right there. That's up right there. And that's just not high enough to be able to hit a good shot. So you barely get to this and you just flick it and it's really a shot with no purpose. Just kind of gets it back to the front wall, which is going to get eaten up a lot. She's in perfect position, and you're just way out of position. Um, Although she did take the wrong shot. She hit it right back to you. But she killed it, so it's all good. Yeah, work on getting yourself in position, down and ready behind the dotted line, tossing the ball to the left or the right, like we did in our drills, and then crossing over and flicking it to the ceiling. Something you just got to work on, you got to practice. And you'll notice that when your racket's up, it's just a lot easier. I should have mentioned that I'm getting over a cold too, so if I sound a little nasally or a little hoarse, I apologize. Good job. Oh, she got lucky there. You did a good job getting back in position. One thing I do like is you're always hustling back to center court. That's just going to keep you alive in so many rallies. Hustle back to center. It's amazing how many shots you can cover. That's a screen. Yep. Good call. Cleaning off the glasses. It's getting tight now. Should be this is a game to 11, so we're getting close to the end. And I know it's a pretty close game. That's a setup. Ball came off the back. Anytime the ball comes off the back, it's a setup. There's no reason to go ceiling on a ball off the back unless it's like shooting off the back and you're out of position. You should have actually repositioned yourself over to here and let this ball drop nice and low. Okay? Let the ball drop. Get your racket up. That's the wrong shot. Turned out good, though. Hitting an overhead reverse pinch from deep in the court with your opponent in front of you is just not a winning play long term. Sometimes you'll hit them, but most of the time you're going to want to hit a ceiling or a pass from that height. So we're out of position. She takes the right shot. Oh, good save. That was a really good save. Get that. Oh, it's close. I like that save in the back. Always hustle. Never give up. Get the ball. That's another setup. Came off the back. Good cross court there by Maria. So you missed your opportunity. You had a setup. It's one of those spots where you think, man, this person's just beating me, but really you're getting your chances. And that ball comes off the back, you got to shoot it. There's another one that came off the back and you went ceiling. Something to work on. Great ceiling ball. Oh, she hit another good one back there. So she's got you deep and just tough. Not much you could do there. That was a great game. I hope we learned a lot from that video. We have another video coming up too, game 2 with you and Maria. I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about your game there. Racket prep is number 1. Court position being down and ready. And I like to see you have a few more weapons with the serve, a few more drive serve weapons so you can steal some points. Scoring 11 points is difficult. It's much better to hit 2 or 3 aces and just have to score 8 or 9 points. That's my philosophy on that. All right, so stay tuned for video 2, which is coming up next.